Ruby Gilman, teenage crackhead. I mean, Kraken. It's Kraken, right? It could be either. Honestly, I don't know that it would change the film that much, but it's now out. It's on Peacock. It has audio description. It's a DreamWorks animation, so it's probably Kraken. Although, what if it wasn't? It stars Jane Fonda. If you look at pretty much any of the marketing materials, because Lana Condor apparently is not worth marketing. So even though the film is called Ruby Gilman, it stars somebody not voicing Ruby Gilman. It stars the person with the biggest name. So that's how that works. Jane Fonda's not the lead of this, so I don't know why she has top billing, but it has a lot to do with the fact that she's like 84 and has had a long film career and Oscar nominations and stuff like that. So is Toni Collette. She's in this. So, not quite as old and not quite as long, but she is an Oscar nominee. So, but this is mainly Lana Condor's film. So if you're a fan of, if you're a fan of her work, I was gonna say if you're a fan of Jubilee from X-Men, if you're a fan of what was that To All the Boys I've Loved Before, wasn't that hers on Netflix? I think that's hers. Yeah, I do a lot of research before this, obviously. So then yeah, she's back. She's still a teenager. Apparently she does not age. She's been a teenager forever. Annie Murphy's in this too, which is great. I said Annie, not Eddie, just in case you thought you were like, Eddie Murphy? No, Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek is in this. And I don't know, it's kind of underwhelming, but it's whatever. It's a film about family and choices and water and sea creatures and who's the real monster? In a world of monsters, is anybody really a monster? I was kind of like wonder, like, what is the message that we're trying to send to kids here? This message has a lot. This film has a lot of messages about like, trust your family. No, don't trust your family, but trust your family. They may not do things you understand, but they're for good reason. Make new friends, but don't make new friends, because those new friends might not have your best interests. It's just a lot of like very sort of like conflicting ideas in this film. Like, yeah, it's I don't really know. I don't know. Sometimes in a film, I'm like, oh, this film has a good message. Like How to Train Your Dragon, just has like a good message to it. Not only is it like wildly entertaining for a DreamWorks film, actually just for any film. I don't know why I said for any film. It's just a great film, but it also just has a great message. You know, not judging a book by its cover works in both ways, not just on the dragon, but also, you know, for humans as well. As some people are just written off as being, you know, not Viking enough, I guess. But in here, it's I don't know, the Ruby doesn't know she's a Kraken. She has to stay away from water. Obviously, that's near impossible to do. So she gets into water. It's shock. I know, shocking. Finds out she's a Kraken, and mom's got a lot of explaining to do. So, in this world where she becomes a Kraken too, she also finds out that she has a grandmother, and her grandmother's fully embraced the Kraken life, and that's Jane Fonda. The grandmother is living under the world. Toni Collette turned away from it, and she's like, I don't want to be a Kraken. I'm not going to be used in your ploys of underwater espionage. She's left. She decided to just stay human. But she could become a Kraken. Just get her wet. She's like a gremlin, basically. This movie could be called Ruby Gilman, I'm a Gremlin. It's basically the same concept. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what's going on here. This just feels like, this feels like a nothing film for DreamWorks, which is so weird because even some of the films that have felt like that going into them, where like I've seen the preview for them and I'm just like, oh, that doesn't look great. I've actually been really surprised. I'm somebody who stands up for Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I liked that. The Boss Baby was actually way more entertaining than I thought it would be from watching a preview to watching the film. So, I mean, a lot of times DreamWorks just kind of comes through in the end. This one, I actually wasn't a fan of it. And there were just a lot of problems that I had with the story and, like, its messaging. I think the voice work is fine. I kind of feel bad because I think Lana Condor is amazingly talented and I love her. And I just wish she would get better roles. But this, honestly, it's a voiceover work anyway. It wasn't going to help her career that much. Unless Ruby Gilman would have needed to become like a phenomenon for this to help her voice. Her career as a voiceover actress. So, it's where they were doing like Ruby Gilman, the series, Ruby Gilman sequels, Ruby Gilman, like everywhere. Ruby Gilman, the Christmas special, I mean, like, in order for Lana Condor to become, like, prolific coming out of this. But that's not what's going to happen. So, yeah. Do I think kids are going to like this? Probably, because kids like just about anything, but I just don't know that they're going to be very enthusiastic about it. And as far as, like, sea creatures becoming humans, we just kind of saw this in Luca, which was way better. It's not exactly, it's not the same plot, obviously. But it's very similar in the whole, like, I'm on land, I'm in water. Don't look at me. I'm a sea creature. No. This one just has an added layer, which is mostly Annie Murphy's character, which would be a little bit of a spoiler for me to talk about. It's also one of the reasons I don't like the movie. Yeah. Trust issues. This film teaches your kids to have trust issues. So, yeah. It does. So, I guess spoiler alert coming up, but I'll go ahead and finish off my review and then I'll explain one of the big reasons I don't like the film. I'll just say audio description wise, I think the film is really good. Actually, maybe it's too good audio description wise because there were some things that I didn't like about the film that just didn't really work for me. And even some of them just reminded me, they were like, of how characters reacted to things. Like, there was definitely one character reaction to something that I was like, why would they react that way if they're going to do that? That doesn't make any sense. So then I was like, they made a point to let me know that the character reacted that way. And then the next scene is this. I was thinking, like, from a directorial standpoint, I was like, would I have told an actor to make sure to pull that face? And right before the next scene, no, I wouldn't have. Not a live actor, so why would an animated character do that? Doesn't make any sense. Didn't line up for me. So, yeah. I think it does fine. There's multiple times when she's in the Kraken and she's getting, like, tangled up in shit, and it does a good job of describing that. And she also gets large, and they have to It's just like calm down. I could have done a little bit more on size relativity, especially in that first time when she's hiding out and her mom goes and finds her after the first time she's turned into a Kraken. And she's just, because I'm thinking like, when I think of Kraken, I'm thinking Pirates of the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? That thing's fucking huge. So, if you're telling me that thing is just like chilling on land and like no one notices except except Tony Collette, I'm gonna be like, no sir. I feel like a lot of people would notice. I feel like that's the only way nobody would notice would be if she like ran up a mountain or something. It's like just like hiding in some sort of like random place where there were no people, you know, like where did Ruby go? To the desert. Just like Death Valley. She had to go where there are no people. I don't know. Like I just every time I've seen a Kraken on film, I'm just like that's. And then I put it in perspective. They're always so much bigger than ships. Do you know what I'm saying? Like an entire boat. They're usually like far more larger than like a pirate ship. So I'm thinking if she's that, then my God, you know, like, and she's on land. I mean, we're talking like, this is like a Kong versus Godzilla situation, and like the world seems to be way too calm about her just hanging out. Anyway, just some thoughts. I didn't think this was very good. I'm gonna give Ruby Gilman, Teenage Crackhead, a C. You can go either way with this, I guess, and just moving on up or moving on down. I don't really care. It is meant kind of for kids. I still think your kids have much better material this year to watch. This is the year of Spider-Man and Super Mario Brothers and just some other films that Nimona worked better. The Monkey King. There's just better films this year than this. I'm really disappointed in DreamWorks for this. This is. I don't think I've been this disappointed since they decided to make a fourth Shrek movie. Just like why? Anyway, so the other reason, now we get to the spoiler version, but thank you for watching and subscribing. I'm assuming you're clicking that subscribe button. So, the big reason I like this movie is because Annie Murphy's character is the villain. So it's the trust issues thing. So not only does Ruby Gilman have this internal battle with her family, but the one girl who's become her best friend turns out not to be her best friend. So then she has trust issues because she can't trust anybody because her best friend is not her best friend. It's not even really a teenager. She does say that she's a mermaid and that she came here, and she says she's the daughter of somebody and that she threw away she doesn't want to be like her mom and blah, blah, blah. She gives like a great story, and I actually kind of believed it. To be totally honest, I was like, well, maybe this is like somebody who is trying to change their ways, because she does enough things that seem like they're helping Ruby, or they make sense to Ruby, or she's telling Ruby what Ruby needs to hear in that moment. I actually really liked Annie Murphy's character, and then when they switched it, I was like, all right, well, cool. It's not like I didn't see it coming. I was like, I wonder what's up with this character, you know? And I felt like this character was one of those characters that could have gone either way. It could have been a character that maybe was sent there. Sometimes we have these characters that are like, they're sort of forced to do bad things, but they aren't really bad. And I was thinking that it's possible that it's like she's like a misunderstood villain, and that's what comes to be, is that out of her friendship for Ruby, that she ends up being like, no, I can't, Mother. I can't be your spy anymore. I was kind of expecting more of that moment instead of her being like, haha, I never existed. Fuck you. You know, I am the mother. It's like, that's creepy. Yeah, it's, it was a little weird, but there's actually a moment where they're swimming down, and it's like they're it's when Ruby's really pissed off, and they're swimming towards the trident or whatever, and it cuts to a scene of her character Chelsea swimming and following her, and then she looks hesitant. There's a moment where it specifically stops, and it lets us know that Chelsea looks hesitant before she goes in. And I was like, okay, this backs up my thought that maybe she's like a double agent, but she's come to really enjoy Ruby, so she's gonna make the right choice. No, that's not how we're going here. So then why was she hesitant? Like, what did she hesitate for? Like, what was she pondering in that moment? What am I having for dinner after this? You know, like, like, what was she hesitant about? It's a weird acting choice to be like, because she just goes like full villain after that. And it's just like, I don't know. I was like, fuck this movie. And I kicked my TV over and I just walked out. I was like, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I don't care. It's just like, whatever. This film just makes terrible life choices all the time. I really didn't like that much about the movie. Except the voice talent was good. And I root for them. I mean, I fucking love Toni Collette. I love Lana Condor. Jane Fonda's great. And I love that Annie Murphy's being used, you know, in an actual cinematic role. I mean, she's got a great voice for this. So there are so many things to like that are in this film, and it feels like there was a good film here, and they either edited it like 10 different times and it went away, and now they just were like, well, we have to release it, or it's something that sat on the shelf for so long that they were like, I guess we should just put this out. This one bombed at the box office. Nobody cared. I was expecting this to be on Peacock a lot quicker because of that. Was it the opening weekend like $5 million for a DreamWorks movie? Like, I'm all about uncovering like gems and being like, you guys were wrong. The critics are wrong. This is beautiful. This is an amazing movie. I just admitted that I liked Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I do like that movie. I think that movie has some really interesting thoughts and concepts in it. I got nothing here. So, that's it. Yeah, Chelsea actually made the movie worse for me. The direction they took her character. Because not only did I hate what was happening with her family dynamic, and I was like, I don't even know what you guys are trying to do here. You know, like, trust that I'm doing the right thing for you by not telling you anything about... It's like, Mom, her thing involves her staying away from water. From water. From water. Water. Fucking tell her. Like, this isn't like something like, she's not something where it's like, if she goes near lava, she might turn into a kraken. Like, well, I don't think she's gonna walk into a volcano today, so maybe I can get away with not telling her. I mean, it's so ridiculous, and they live way too close to water. First of all, if you're a kraken, you know, fucking move to Kansas. If you're gonna do that, like, move into the middle of nowhere where there's no water. And just the whole movie, I can't with this movie. I just don't like it. So that's it. Sorry, I love DreamWorks films, but this movie did not do it for me. Just like I love Pixar movies, but I do not like Cars 2. I said Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Under any circumstance will I ever like Cars 2. There's nothing. Wild horses cannot make me like Cars 2. Nothing about that film is likable. It's dead to me. I killed it. Rest in peace, Cars 2. I don't know if Gilman just is like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's not good. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I have a website, MacMovieGuy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know his audio description where you can watch it. You can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating what. And you can follow me on Instagram, X, or Threads at MacMovieGuy. So that's it. At least it has audio description, so that's a win. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the other side.